this is a predicament that we are in, this Muslim Ummah today. Why? Because we are a diverse community. The Quran was sent down in the Arabic language to an Arabic-speaking people. And so when the Quran was revealed, they understood what was being said in the Quran. They understood it. But then Islam spread. It spread to North Africa, it spread throughout the Middle East, and it spread to Asia as well, and to Africa, in the southern parts of Africa as well, towards the southern parts of Africa. People spoke different languages. Yes, many of those Muslims that lived in those various different parts of the world ended up adopting Arabic as their language, as was the case in North Africa. But in other Muslim countries, that wasn't so much the case. Right? So they didn't end up adopting the Arabic language as their main language. So as a result, we developed a Muslim community, or many Muslim societies grew and developed, but lacking a deeper understanding of the Quran amongst the laity, amongst the lay people, because of the fact that there was a language barrier. And so as a result now, what we find is that there are many communities where people, mashallah, they recite the Quran, and that's always a good thing, right? We will never ever discourage people from reciting the book of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Even if they don't understand it, we won't discourage them. Especially for people who struggle, or maybe are in many ways illiterate in other languages, and they struggle to study the teachings of the Quran. I have many relatives, for example, from Bangladesh who are illiterate, right? So they can't read and write in English, and even in Bangla, they can't speak or read the written script, right? So the only thing that they can do though is maybe recite the Quran in Arabic, because that's what they were taught when they were young children. But that's as far as their relationship goes with the Quran. Right? So it's very difficult for them to read the tafsir, it's very difficult for them to reflect over its meanings. And that's a sad reality. But Allah will reward them according to their intentions and according to their capabilities. But I'm speaking here to a group of people now, inshallah you all understand me. If you all understand me, speaking now, right? That means you understand English, right? You can read in English, inshallah, at the very least. Some of you, I'm sure, have gone abroad and studied and learned Arabic as well. It is possible for you to learn the teachings of the Quran. It is possible for you to learn the guidance from the Quran in a language that you will understand. And that's the stage that we are reaching now, I think, for the Muslims in the West. I think we've reached this stage where people have begun to realize how profound the Quran actually is. A lot of the youth now, when they start practicing, one of the first things that they start to do is start memorizing the Quran, right? Learning qira'at, and this is an amazing thing. And it shows you the love that the shabab, they have for the Quran, and that's something we must cherish. But we shouldn't just keep it there. And that's the problem that I'm seeing today, right? We are encouraging everyone to memorize the Quran. Brilliant, excellent. We should keep doing that. Okay, but there isn't enough emphasis on studying the words of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I mean, let me ask you now. How many of you attend a tafsir class? Raise your hands. Subhanallah. Not one person. Okay, one person. Okay, another question. How many of you read the Quran, and be honest with me, how many of you read the Quran in a language that you understand? Raise your hands. Okay, a few more, alhamdulillah. That's good, right? But it should be more. It should be more. How many, and I don't want to get in trouble here, does the masjid here have a tafsir class? Do they hold a tafsir class? They do? Yeah? Okay, alhamdulillah. That's good. That's another thing that I think we need to really another thing that we need to work on as Muslim community. Every masjid should have a Quran class, a Quran study class, a tafsir class, where people sit together and a learned person comes, whether it teaches the Quran or holds an interactive session where people reflect over the meanings of the Quran. Ibn al-Wazir ibn Hubayra, a famous Hanbali scholar, he said one of the makaid of shaitan, one of the tricks of the devil, is that he discourages people from making tadabbur of the Quran. He discourages people from making tadabbur of the Quran. But he does it in a way that people think they're doing that out of piety. Because no one wants to speak about the Quran without any knowledge. Right? Everyone's scared to speak about the Quran without any knowledge. And that's fine. I mean, we ought to be scared. Okay? But that shouldn't prevent you from reflecting over the words of Allah. أَفَلَا يَتَدَبَّرُونَ الْقُرْآنَ. Every single ayah in the Quran where Allah says, أَفَلَا يَتَدَبَّرُونَ الْقُرْآنَ. Do you know who Allah was addressing? Who was Allah addressing? Does anyone know? Is he addressing us? Okay, any other answers? The hypocrites. Primarily the hypocrites. Obviously by extension, the believers as well. But if Allah is telling the hypocrites, do they not reflect over the Quran? So if Allah gives them the license to reflect over the Quran, shouldn't we be reflecting over the Quran? Subhanallah. Okay, so make an intention, my dear brothers. Please make the intention that if you really want to be from Ahlul Quran, if you really want to be from the people of Quran, and as you know, the Prophet ﷺ, he said, "Inna lillahi ahlina minan nas," that Allah has a special group of people from amongst mankind. قِيلَ مَنْ هُمْ يَا رَسُولَ اللَّهِ. He said, who are they, the Messenger of Allah? He said, Ahlul Quran, hum Ahlullah wa khasatuhum. They are the people of Quran, they are the people of Allah and His select elite group. If you want to be from that group, and inshallah, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us all from them, Ya Rabbi. If we want to be from that group, we need to aim higher, right? We need to, yes, memorize, okay? Learn how to recite the book of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But we need to take it a step further. We have to take the Quran as the source of our guidance, the source of our knowledge, the source of our tarbiyah, our education, the source of how we interact with others in the world, the source of how we understand our very existence. And that can only come about, and I'm saying this now, it can only come about through a prolonged exposure to the Quran. Prolonged and a consistent exposure to the Quran. Not just the odd, conference that you go to and the odd reminder that, boosts you to draw closer to the Quran. No. Constant exposure. Where you have a regular relationship with the Quran, reading the Quran. And after many, many years, then you will see the profound effect that it has on your character, your mindset, the way you think, the way you behave. But that will only come through that interactive relationship that you have with the Quran. And our relationship with the Quran is multifaceted, right? Sometimes we read it for hifz, sometimes we read it for, muraja'ah, for revision, sometimes we read it for shifa, right? Sometimes we read it for guidance, sometimes we read it because we want to lift our spirits. It's multifaceted. But ultimately the Quran is a book of guidance, and that's how we must approach the book of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So I think I've spoken long enough. If Shaykh Haytham wants to add any comments, inshallah, any corrections. So we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to bless us all on this special night, and that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala makes us from Ahlul Quran, and that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives us the tawfiq to draw closer to His words, and that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala resurrects us on the day of judgment with Quran in our hearts, and that we be of those who rise higher and higher in paradise due to the Quran in our hearts. جزاكم الله خيرا وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين.